on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here, live from the red corner here at Raymond James Stadium after the USF Bulls defeat Bethune Cookman in their first home game of the season, 48-3. How do we start off this show? Probably keep it down just a little bit because people are kind of working. Bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Bay, Mr. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. And it didn't necessarily start out so well for USF, and then they really got things going there with an 11-play, 82-yard drive there. Byron Brown with the honors, 42-yard run. I mean, and that has kind of been the excitement, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, about this offense, about this team. Byron Brown, that's the guy you got to definitely focus on. Welcome to the Evolution.
Yeah, what fantastic game tonight. And that Byron Brown rush, that really was what seemed to open it up. Before then, it almost felt like, because we just got through with what seemed like about 72 months of NFL preseason. In college, it was almost like the Bulls came out, looked like, oh, they're feeling themselves around a little bit. Then Sean Atkins got active, that defense got lit, and of course, Byron had that big rush.
And we got to play this right here. There we go. And like Bulls fans are like, is there a post-game show? It's late. This is what we do here on the Evolution. Open phone lines if you want to talk about this big-time Bulls win tonight. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. You know what I just thought of?
What?
Everybody else is down in the media room. So we can probably be as loud as we need to be at this point because nobody's really working. But if they do come over here and say, and they've been doing this all night long to us, they were like, what is this? This is a podcast. It's the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's a cross between a TV and radio show with all the elements, with phone calls, of course, text messages, and again, great coverage. We're going to be covering the USF Bulls all year around, especially at home. We'll figure out the away situation, and then, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we're on Amped Up Sports right now. We're looking for Leo Haggerty as he is doing some post-game stuff there, interviewing Alex Golish and some players. But, going back to it, Byron Brown being the story. He was the story tonight. Did miss some throws, but overall, this is exactly what we expected from the young man coming into the season.
100%. And I was down there on the field right there when Byron came out. Byron came out and was warming up and doing the exercise ball before he puts his pads on. That's his routine, pregame routine. And I'll tell you what, you saw it too in the pictures video we sent up that he looks every bit that 15 to 20 pounds of muscle he put on his offseason.
Yes.
Byron the rest of the team took a minute. He was definitely ready to go tonight. And this team, just last year being Coach Golish's first year, they were establishing themselves, and Coach even said they were trying to find. This year, it's still only the first game of the season, but they're coming out. They seem to be a team that's already knows where their identity needs to go to. They just need to work a little bit to take some of the rough edges away, maybe.
Yeah, and look, I get it. Bethune Cookman is Bethune Cookman at the end of the day. The real challenge is most likely next week, but this is the kind of game you needed, and a lot of people thought, you know what, there's no way they're going to be able to come out strong. They may struggle. They did not struggle. They had their moments tonight. Again, it started out 4th and 1 there. Leo's looking at me. Why not go for it at that point? You don't go for it. You punt the ball. You give your defense the opportunity. I thought the defense all night long really didn't give up a lot of plays at all. Shut down the running game. Got after the quarterback. That's exactly what you want to see because, of course, the stakes get a little bit higher next week versus the Alabama Crimson Tide on the road. But with that being said, going with Byron Brown for the night, 13 for 20, 152. Didn't throw any touchdowns, but, talk about this running game overall. 46 carries, 231. That's the kind of balance you want to see from this offense because so many times throughout last year, they would be one-dimensional. The offense at this point, in order for this team to really go anywhere, in my opinion, you have to be balanced, and they were definitely that tonight. Kelly Joyner leading the way there. 14 carries for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, a career high for that young man. Brown, 8 carries for 74 yards, along with, again, we talked about the 42-yarder. You watch the run. It's an option. He hits the hole and full stride there. Looks like he's going to get tackled, and Brown does not go down.
He's fast.
Yes,
he found that sideline, and he was off to the races. They didn't have a chance once he got to that third level or past the second. But, going back to that 4th down play, 4th and 1, first drive of the game, you're like, well, every bit, why not go for it at home? Yeah. I think the difference between 2023 Bulls and 2024 Bulls is that Coach Golish was still setting that this is how we're going to be, as opposed to now in 2024, the identity being kind of already set a little bit.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and punt the ball there. Let's do the smart thing you want to do most days of the week, and then come back out. And they still found their bearings there a little bit later in the first quarter.
Now, it wasn't all good all night long because there was somewhat of an injury, which we really don't know what the status of it is. But the big play there, Jalen Schuler, who is the leading tackler for this Bull squad last year, has an interception, goes 29 yards, but on the return gets hit on his knee. I mean, and he's down for a little bit. It looks like they're going to bring out the cart. He's helped off the field. Right now, we don't know what the status of that is, but that would be a major loss for this defense, especially with the interception, with how active he was earlier on in the game, and just making a play there, just making a play that you don't necessarily expect a linebacker to make. Makes a great catch, takes it back for the return, but once again gets hit on the knee there. So some concern. We'll definitely update that situation when that information becomes available. But right now, thoughts and prayers to Mr. Jalen Schuler there.
Yeah, I'm sure Leo, who's again down there with the coaches conference and presser, and always gets a good interview. I'm sure he'll have a little more, maybe an update there for us here in just a few minutes.
Absolutely. I tell you what, let's go out to the comments here on the Sports Web. Again, open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Eric. Eric says hello. Hello to you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Eric again. Great win by the Bulls. It is a great win by the Bulls. 48-3 in very easy fashion, if you will. That's what you want to see. That's the kind of momentum you want to take in to that game next week versus the Crimson Tide, and we'll definitely get you ready for that all week long here.
A tough test for Alabama tonight.
Very tough test.
63-0 over Western Kentucky. So, I mean, it lines it up for it. I mean, as a Bulls fan going into next week, going into Tuscaloosa, all we can hope for is maybe they've got a little bit a big head of themselves, because they're, this Bulls team showed last year against Alabama. They're not just going to fold up and go home. They're going to give them a game.
And you mentioned it last year. They definitely played, and I know Brown missed some throws. He had some throws that he missed tonight, but overall, you can see again the excitement. He was trying to throw from the pocket, but when they let him loose out of that pocket and Bethune Cookman lost containment, he really made some things happen, and that's where he becomes his most dangerous self, in my opinion. You're exactly right, though, and Coach Golish will have this team ready to go. They're all about process. They're all about going through the correct processes, if you will. He will definitely have them ready to go next week. I definitely believe that. Should be a surprise or not. Let's go out to Hit the Mitts. St. Pete, thank you very much for tuning in to the Evolution here, post-game edition of the Sports Web from the red corner. Room. Yes, the red corner. The red room. The red corner here at Raymond James Stadium after the Bulls defeat Bethune Cookman 48-3. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. It was so much fun. Lots of dingers. I don't know if they were watching the same game, but I think that's a baseball reference
bangers.
There was definitely some big-time plays in this game. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Notre Dame isn't a top 10 team. I mean, we don't just have to talk Bulls on this show. We predominantly like to. Yes. Of course, the next home game would be versus the Miami Hurricanes, September 21st. And they are definitely one of the big-time stories of the day because they went into the Swamp and absolutely dominated the Florida Gators. What was it, 41-17? Cam Ward showing out there, 385 yards, 3 touchdowns. Impressive performance by the Miami Hurricanes. I'm not ready to say they're back yet because I think Florida is in big-time trouble. So we could definitely talk about that. And then I guess Notre Dame is having struggles right now. Michigan's having their own struggles.
Michigan,
so
they're handling
college football is back, my friend.
Yes,
and that's the one big-time story on the Sports Web, and we'll definitely got you covered here anytime after Bulls games. Try to get some before Bulls games coverage, and, of course, throughout the week on Monday and Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Yes. You want to say something?
Oh, no, I was doing the horns up. But I'll tell you what, announced 39,000 people here tonight, 6,000 student section. Every seat, I went down there, we walked around. You've seen the
very
video.
Good. I thought it was 36,000. 36,262. I got you.
6,000
right.
Students, but
6,000 students, first time, big time turnout.
Very
since
loud.
2021, and that was encouraging to see because that was the story last year also with this team, trying to find themselves, trying to come out of the doldrums, and then being impressive in Coach Golish's first year here with the 7 wins. So that was definitely encouraging, and you hope that happens for this team. Of course, their next home game versus Cam Ward and the Miami Hurricanes.
Cam Ward didn't really early on, especially in today's game.
Yes.
Oh, got a call.
We do got a call. I believe this is Frankie. He wants to talk USF football. Frankie, welcome to the Evolution, your post-game edition here live from Raymond James Stadium after the Bulls win 48-3 over Bethune-Cookman. What's on your mind?
What is going on, Peter and Ray? It is so lovely to see your faces this evening.
Can you get enough of us? I mean, we were on Monday. We're on Wednesday night. We won't be on Monday night because it's Labor Day, so we'll give you a break there, but plenty to talk about. I know you're a Tampa Bay sports fan, so what did you think of the Bulls tonight?
I honestly did not know that they were playing, so you can yell at me about that one.
Right.
I was watching the pay-per-view, so you can yell at me for being my wrestling fanatic self there.
Okay.
However,
yes.
I'm calling because I want to know, like, is there anybody in particular that we should be looking at, for the Bulls come, draft season?
Oh.
Like, is there somebody we should look at? I mean, I'm an Ohio State guy, but I don't really watch college football too much until it comes draft time.
Right.
Well, I'm Marquette. Until Marquette gets a college football team, I guess I'll root Ohio State.
Listen, I would say right now, if you're a Bulls fan, all the attention is definitely on Byron Brown because of, how multifaceted he can be, not only throwing the ball from the pocket and getting better with that. And that's what he definitely has to get better in order to transition over to that NFL level. But he's got all the skills, all the athleticism. He's gotten bigger. He's put on about 20 to 25 pounds, and he can run the ball also. So that's the guy you definitely need to pay attention to. Is he a what?
Would you say like kind of a pocket guy or more of a scrambling guy?
No, he's more of a mobility guy, but he definitely needs to, consistently be able to throw from the pocket more. But he's definitely a mobile quarterback. He's a multi-dimensional quarterback that can make things happen. And he has a great arm. He kind of missed some throws tonight. He missed some throws in that Alabama game last year. He missed some throws throughout the year. That's what happens with young quarterbacks. But then what you're looking for is the real quarterbacks that are going to get drafted to the next level have to be able to throw the ball from the pocket consistently.
Now, my next question, as somebody that doesn't know the Bulls.
Yes.
What would you say is the freshman class looking like? What's the depth?
I got one for you. I got one for you, Frankie. How's this? Tonight we got to see Nico Grammatica, who of course is son of.
And you love the kickers.
I love
the kickers.
Leg.
You love the boots.
I begged for the leg.
Yes, you begged for the leg.
Martin Grammatica's son, of course, he's a freshman here at USF, and he did some kickoffs. You're a bum, Nick. Rock. I believe he actually may have handled like an extra point or two, but he looked fantastic. Of course, Cannon, their current kicker's doing a fantastic job, but there was a story there. He had a 53-yarder, which is his career high. It usually was 47, and that really put the game out of reach at that point. A 53-yarder, I believe, was right before halftime there? It was in the second quarter. But
53-yarder, and then also had a 45-yarder in this game. So
just for a tie-in for you there, Frankie.
Yes, because I know. Right, exactly. So what else, Frankie?
I plug you guys all the time. I share Peter. I share your stories.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. You do great work too.
I passed you though. I passed you.
You passed me? How?
I have like 2,000. I have 2.1K followers now.
Well, good for you, man. Absolutely.
I'm not even trying though, man. Like
there
seriously, when I do my reels, man, I'm doing it because I love doing it, man. It helps me with my anxiety. It helps me with my depression. And honestly, I'm doing it to put a smile on somebody's face for the day.
Yeah.
And if I don't laugh when I'm making it, then I'm not going to put it out there. I'm doing it just to make someone else have a smile during the day. And if I get at least one like on a video, then I'm like, dude, I made somebody's day better.
Yes.
I made at least one person. That's all I'm doing it for. And I'm gaining all these followers from it. And I'm like, damn.
Well, I tell you right now, you got to watch more college football. You got to watch USF this year because we're going to continue to do these post-game editions of the Sports Lab, right?
Like I'll be watching. Like, dude, I like football, period.
All right, man. Sounds good. Appreciate you as always. College football is back. So you got Florida State playing on Monday
I'm ready
night.
for some NFL next weekend.
I
Baby.
know. We all are. We're counting down the days here. What is it? Is it 8 days or what is it? No. It's 8 days. Yeah, 8 days
night, right?
for the Bucks.
Yeah,
For the
8
Bucks,
days for
right.
Tampa.
8 days for the Bucks, and then you have the game on Thursday, and then you have Friday night.
Brazil and Friday.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday. Isn't it her game on Saturday too this year?
No, it's just Thursday and Friday, and then you got your games
Thursday,
on
Friday,
Sunday.
then Sunday,
Yes.
and then 2 on Monday.
Yes, absolutely.
It's crazy.
All right,
All right,
Frankie.
guys.
Appreciate the call,
Frank.
man. There you go. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. After your USF Bulls went 48-3 over Bethune Cookman and their first home game of the season, going back to it. Schuler was all over the place, but hopefully that injury is not serious or severe. It didn't necessarily look good. After that, 7 plays, 40 yards. Once again, the defense giving them the opportunity there. Actually, getting ahead of myself. 8 plays for 48 yards there.
I'm disagreeing with everything.
Yes, 1 yard touchdown. But the highlight of the game, and we saw him last year also show up from Byron Brown, would be Sean Atkins, 18 yards. So at that point, it's 21-0. And again, you start to feel good about this because you did have a little bit of a rough start, but then midway through the second quarter, it's 21-0, and you got all the momentum. And then once again, the defense gets back the ball. They go 7 plays, 40 yards. Naquan Wright, the highlight of that, and I believe we have some of that footage there really quick. Let me see if I can find that. But 10-yard catch there. Does not go down. And he showed this last year versus Alabama, where he's just a natural truck stick, does the same thing, nearly scores on that, and then goes in for the 1-yard plunge. And once again, it's 28-0 USF. And Bulls fans are just going crazy.
It was great down there. The excitement, the electricity. Again, that was where the student section next to the band section, and so many families and a lot of people out here. Such a great time on a Saturday night. And thank you to Mother Nature for pulling back on humidity for like a 24-hour period. And it's still 90 degrees, but it was a little drier, and you could feel it with the breeze out of the east tonight. It was a fantastic night here in Raymond James.
It was, and I want to go out to this crowd shot because you were on the field. You were getting some of this. I mean, that's kind of what it was all night long. I mean, lots of, 6,000 students out there, unbelievable turnout. And I definitely think that, more people will come out and see this team because the excitement is going to be there. Big time game next week versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. And then on top of it, the Miami Hurricanes coming to town, which, again, very impressive versus the Florida Gators. A lot of people wondering if Billy Napier, Sunbelt Billy, will be able to keep his job because it is a gauntlet of a schedule for the Florida Gators. So we'll see how that works out. Yes, thank you.
Gauntlet?
Yes, gauntlet. Yeah, gauntlet. I don't think that was a Leo word, but okay. I'll give it to you.
Keep saying it.
Whatever. You shut up and be quiet. That's what I have to say. Where is that at? Where's it?
This guy sucks.
See, we got our sound effects. Everybody's like, are you gonna have phone calls and sound effects? Yeah, we set up everything.
You're a bum, Ron.
Yeah, you're a bum. Exactly. All right. I can't wait until the Alabama game. You won't have to wait long, my friend, because that's
just a week away.
Yeah, just a week. Just a week away, right? Is it a week away?
Yeah, next Saturday night.
Is it?
Wait, now you're making me go.
Is it? I believe it is. I thought it was. So
Me
let's go ahead and see here. Let's just make sure.
I don't want to be quoted in saying no, you were wrong. It's the second week.
Well, I'm just thinking of it. I'm just thinking about right now. Okay, yes, it is next week, and it is at 7:00 in
Tuscaloosa,
Alabama.
They got a new coach there in Alabama, and last year Saban came in, seemed like he was on his last legs, but this Bulls team just put up a fight. They said, not today, not in our house. Now we go to their place. The onus is on them, especially after a 63-0 win against Western Kentucky.
Right.
So they haven't seen themselves either, but they haven't seen this Bulls team, and the confidence is out there. The Bulls team, they're going to go in there and give them a good game. So we're looking forward to that game a week from tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people are looking forward to it because at the end of the day, even though Nick Saban is no longer there as a coach, that is the measuring stick as a national power with the tradition. And hopefully, that Bulls effort from last year, they can finish up the game. We'll see what happens. Again, 49-yard field goal there, and then 53-yarder by Cannon there, which was tremendous.
Just a great
As
pick,
you
yeah.
said, you go to the second half, and much of the same. I mean, this was, again, blowout. 40-yarder by Cannon, making it 34-3 at that point. You get a 26-yard run, and then you get a 41-yard pass play from Brown to Rahman. I believe is it Riemann? I pronounced his name wrong. Let me just see here really quick.
I want to say
it's Raymond.
Because my name's Raymond.
Yes, right here. Right, I got it right here. Abdul Rahman Yassin.
Yassin. Oh, Yassin, right.
Yes, Yassin. So there you go. So 41-yarder to set up another touchdown there. And Bryce Archie comes in. It's 48-3. So it's pretty much closed out at the end of the day for this team. And that was the impressive thing. It was again, they had a little bit of a slow start there. By second quarter, the game is basically out of reach. A lot of questions about this defense. I think a lot of those questions were answered tonight by the defense shutting down that first team offense for Bethune Cookman.
Bethune Cookman's best plays were in the first half, especially, were penalties, and there were some not ticky tacky. They were warranted, maybe but
egregious calls.
Egregious.
Because to me, I think the ref missed it. The Schuler play before the injury, they call him for a late hit, and then they look at it as targeting
on a slide.
He doesn't even touch the player with his helmet.
Yeah,
at all. Doesn't even touch him.
The last second he actually fell, and all he did was go down and barely was just trying to keep himself from falling, it seemed like.
Yes.
And, they didn't throw him out of the game. They didn't get him for targeting, but they got him for the 15-yard personal foul. And so, you can't review that. But, the best thing for Bethune, especially in that first half, was those penalties. And then, that Bulls defense really just stepped up.
It did. And again, going back to the run game here, Byron Brown, 8 carries for 74 yards. Taryn Keith, big game also, 7 carries for 39 yards. Yassis Young, 7 carries for 30 yards. And Naquan Wright, we talked about his effort just being the human truck stick when it comes to putting your shoulder pad down and just trying to run somebody over. Impressive again by this Bulls team. 46 carries, 231 yards, 5 touchdowns.
That's just
and again, mostly 1 yard but when you're doing that to a team and you're dominant in that running game, you're going to keep the ball a lot, and then on top of it, you're going to wear that Bethune Cookman defense out, and that's exactly what they did with dominating time of possession. I want to look at some of these team numbers here because I think it's definitely clear. Third down efficiency for the night, 8 for 15. You'll take that all day long for your offense. Again, defensively, holding Bethune Cookman to 3 for 16. They go for fourth down. Early on in the game, don't necessarily get it. I believe that's on 4th and goal. They get stuck there. I actually had to replay that. I don't know what they were replaying. Again, the refs didn't know what they were looking at, but they clearly missed that call. The ball goes back to Bethune Cookman, but they're not able to do anything with it as the Wildcats struggled all night long offensively. Passing wise, 122 yards, 170 total yards. So if you were looking for the Bulls to step up defensively, this is the game that you're like, okay, that's good. Now what can they do in the following weeks here against definitely better competition, if you will?
Well, the defense was all over the place. The secondary, they were hitting their marks. They were where they needed to be at the right time. It's how you get the big interception. That's why they didn't really have any luck in the passing game. But and the offense too is like, I don't know exactly why Byron Brown was still there in the late in the third quarter and spending 6 seconds in the pocket trying to throw the ball. I'm like, I want Dog to get ready to, just find his rhythm, but at the same time,
to get some reps. I trust Coach Golish and the processes that he's going through.
Did I sound like I was questioning Coach?
A little bit.
He'll come after
me. That's
I
okay. That's all right. If you want to, if you have any questions or you have any comments about this big time Bulls win, 48-3 over the Bethune Cookman Wildcats, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as USF picks up their first win of the year here live from Raymond James Stadium. 1-0.
Undefeated.
Sounds good.
I like it.
The other teams, Florida and Florida State,
not so much.
Not so much. Not so much. Gator fans out there, if you do want to talk about that game, you're more than happy. You're more than welcome.
Why would you want to?
Well, because I know you're a Gator fan, so I had to. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Riveters. I stopped by there on the way over.
Oh, really? You stopped by Riveters? Was it packed there?
Big UF. Big Gator watch party.
Okay.
And I did kind of point out that I know why Rob Thompson and the gang and the crew are all over there having their Buccaneer game day or watch both away and home game parties.
Yes.
Big Nasty Keith Kunzig actually has a party over there. I mean, don't want to, Jay was telling me some stuff, but I'm like, you guys also realize you're about 3 blocks down from Bulls country.
Yes.
So, you could do that. But if you're a Gators fan, probably not a lot to talk about. It looked like it was a nice day there in the swamp, but not so much.
Maybe early there, he had a big play or two, but after that, it was not good. There was no defense at the end of the day. Offense couldn't do much of anything. And
I think Tebow was there. Tebow looked good.
Well,
Tim looked good. He didn't do the,
Well, they needed Tim Tebow today.
They needed Kyle Trask
They needed anything at this point with the way the offense
I think
played.
Trask has a year of eligibility left. I think that Napier should be calling.
Listen to you already trying to put that guy back into college as he's not getting any playing time right now with the Bucs. All right. I can't wait till the Alabama game. All right, Christopher Cole, once again, appreciate the comment. Yeah. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. I looked for Frankie on IG, but I couldn't find him. He is right here. He is the Hill Mark with $2 with the YouTube super chat. So appreciate that. And by the way, Facebook stars are open. So if you want to give to the content, if you like what we're doing here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, feel free. And then once again, YouTube super chats
but make sure
are out there.
If it's for me, address it, at least in the comments, say this is for Ray, because otherwise he doesn't.
Oh, yeah, your check's in the mail. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's right there.
This guy sucks.
All right, let's go out to the Hill Mark. So just because I love you guys and want to show support, appreciate that. Let's go out to him. I'm the Hill Mark on IG. Absolutely follow that. Please don't use my real name on IG. We won't. Okay, Chris left. Good evening, gentlemen. What's going on? Christopher O'Reilly.
Oh.
So, Christopher Cole, and you got Christopher O'Reilly commenting here after the Bulls beat the Wildcats there 48-3 for their first win. And let's go out to the Hill Mark. Hey, Tebow is the man. So there you go.
Hey,
what else did you get from this game tonight? Because, again, we talked about it. Rushing effort was there. Impressive rushing numbers. 5 touchdowns on the ground. Brown with the explosive plays, especially, leading the run there. I mean, what did you see that you think would concern you with this team going forward? Some penalties. We talked about that. Pass interference, kind of ticky-tack, but you're still calling that. There was one called in the mid-second quarter where they took it off because the ball was uncatchable. But what did you see tonight that you could probably nitpick that would kind of concern you, if you will, if you're a Bulls fan going forward?
I would say that I love the 5 touchdowns on the ground. I love give it tape. Make Alabama look at tape this week.
7 penalties for 85 yards. That's something I know that Coach Golish definitely wants to clean up going forward. You got to clean that up. You just have to.
Well, you can't be doing that because now you're going against a team that's got slightly bigger players, slightly faster. They're going to be you're going to have to play a penalty-free game, if you will. If you're going to have a personal foul, make sure it's at the right time because you're setting you're setting the tempo of the game. But as far as tonight's game, I hope that the 5 touchdowns on the ground and the rushing, I think that's letting them look at that. I would hope that maybe we held back on some of that passing, not that we have to, but also knowing that next week going into Tuscaloosa against the Alabama Crimson Tide, didn't want to show too much tonight. If they were really trying to show too much and they struggled like that with the passing game, then maybe I would be like, okay, I'd like to see that tighten up a little more. Cole Skinner, right tackle, 56 going down, limping out of the game. That kind of hurts. He was a starter as a freshman last year, and he looked good this year. Tristan's favorite player, so hopefully that cat's okay. I'd like to hear a report on that, but not so much to be concerned with. It was really, I saw this team in pregame warm-up, and they just seemed like a team that, okay, this is year 2. We kind of know we've been here now. We know what to expect. We still got a long way to go. We still got a lot to learn. Coach is going to show us, but they look like they've really gotten comfortable and kind of settled into where they want to be, this USF program moving forward.
And that's kind of what you're looking at if you're a USF Bulls fan. Hopefully you're watching this program right now, even at this late hour. The most exciting thing is you're going into your second year of Alex Golish's tenure. So we'll see. I don't necessarily think you're going to see, that learning process. I think it's calmed down. You feel an excitement. I talked about it when going out there and covering the Bucs. There's an excitement. Covering this team, there's an excitement to it. Golish definitely certainly seems like, not that he didn't have confidence last year, but he has confidence this year because you're not trying to move around. You're not trying to do this. You're not trying to do that. You're not trying to establish your identity. Your identity is there.
Right.
It showed tonight.
Yes.
It showed that you want to be physical at the point of attack. It showed that not only do you want your quarterback to throw from the pocket, but you also want to use his mobility when the opportunity definitely exists. And once again, ball control, possession-wise, almost 40 minutes of possession compared to Bethune-Cookman at 22 minutes. And then going back to the defense, because we continue to talk about that, 2 turnovers tonight, 2 interceptions. They got after the quarterback. They actually had to change the quarterback there later on in the second quarter because they couldn't get anything going when it came to the Wildcats all night long. And again, they stifled that offense, that opposing offense. So that's exactly what you want to see. You want your defense to lead the way. You want your defense to shut down the running game, get after the quarterback and cause turnovers, and that's exactly what they did Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy.
100%. And also, as far as this defense goes, last year it was like, Coach Golish comes in, he's an offensive guy, he's got a Byron Brown. This year, and we saw the defense last year stepping up, is how they made it to the Meineke Bowl, or the Meineke Bowl. No, they were in the Boca Raton Bowl. I'm sorry,
yes, against Syracuse, where they shut them down
45-0.
Yes.
I remembered that.
I know. I can't believe you forgot it. What did you say Meineke for?
Because I'm studying Bulls history, and Meineke was the first bowl they ever actually won, and that was back.
This guy sucks.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
What are you on preseason? You're on preseason form already, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy.
I'm preseason.
Listen, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. After the Bulls defeat the Wildcats 48-3 here live from Raymond James Stadium. We're live from the red corner. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Bays, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. Let's go out to these comments. Tebow's the man. Okay, we read that. So let's go out to this. Any relation to Kyle O'Reilly? I don't believe so. I don't believe Christopher is related to the wrestler that's in AEW.
Corporal Radar O'Reilly.
Yeah, I don't know what you just said. I really don't. So
you know what's my
Shut up!
Sorry.
We got to change that.
You're a bum.
You're a bum.
We're going to change it to that. That's exactly what we're going to change it to. All right. That's what I typed in. All right. So there you go. So the Hill mark, that's how you find that guy right there. What else did you see from this game? Because you were on the field tonight.
Yes.
The atmosphere was there. You kind of talked about this. We talked about the turnout, nearly 37,000. You had 6,000 worth of students, but go ahead and talk about more of the atmosphere out there being on the field.
Thank you.
Yes.
So my biggest thing first year was Coach Golish was out there. Every game, he's out there. He was out there, boisterous, going up and down. And this now with this team right here, what I saw on the field, because I went down there looking for my marks from last year.
Yeah.
Coach Golish, he didn't feel like he had to be out there cracking a whip. He seems to Golish.
Yes.
Is that what you're going to correct
Golish?
me
No.
Coach
You're
Golish.
laughing
at me.
I'm not.
I'm
not laughing at you.
You always laugh.
No, I mean, you can make fun of me on how I pronounced the wide receiver's name, which I completely butchered. Abdur Ram Yassin. I think that's it. Yes, Yassin. What does it say, Yassin? It was obscene because of how I pronounced this
now
name.
Yassin. Coach Golish seems to
I see this right here.
Shut up!
That was a full setup.
That's what you get. Absolutely, it was a cool setup. That's what I do.
That's exactly what you do. It hurts my feelings.
It hurts your feelings, all right.
Is Leo in the background?
I have no idea. I'm trying to look. He fell asleep.
Oh, Leo.
He fell asleep with this show.
He's interviewing Coach. I saw a USF team out here today.
They weren't sleeping. They were not going through the motions.
I did not get.
And listen, it could have been easy for this team to come in there and say, you know what, we're not going to have our foots on their necks. We're just going to come out. We're going to believe our press clippings. We're not going to play, USF Bulls football. We're just going to go out there and let this team score or keep them in the game. And they didn't do that tonight. It would have been easy for this team to do that. And they didn't do that.
No, and I tell you what, again, pregame.
We saw that last year. We saw where this team would allow other teams to hang around. We saw in the first game.
Yes, we saw it.
They didn't do it tonight.
Yes, and I also saw I got really up close and personal with Sean Atkins tonight, just watching him go through his pregame warm-up. And I'm just like, you saw him returning those punts tonight. And I'm telling you what, every time the Sean Atkins is back there returning a punt, keep your eyes on this, because the NFL doesn't have a dynamic kickoff, but the Bulls have a dynamic punt return.
You're using that word dynamic all the time now.
I'm going to make it a Leo word.
I know you're going to. You're going to definitely try to use that because you like the way Joe Buck used it. You love that dynamic kickoff rule.
It was so, I'm all about making safer for the players. I got a concussion in the wedge back in playing midget football. And at the end of the day, but don't keep telling me how dynamic it is. It's still averaging 26 to 28 yards. And now you're going to find that the NFL in regular season, they're going to go back to 70%. There's going to be touchbacks because they get it at the 30. You don't risk it. You're only giving up 2 extra yards, and you're not giving.
I hope not, because
I hope not too.
The reason why the rule is put into effect in the first place is because you want to see more kickoff returns and you want to see more plays in the special teams game. Update on the Fighting Irish, because we've been talking about Notre Dame and around college football right now. 21-yard run by Jeremiah Love with 1:54 left. Notre Dame leads Texas A&M 23-13. So it's been a struggle all night long with both of those teams. But right now, Notre Dame seems like they're in full control. 23-13. That's your update. And of course, we talked about Florida and what. You're a Florida fan, because I know we're going to talk USF on the show. We're going to continue to talk USF, but I got to get your angle on Florida. Could it be time? Does he make it to the season? Does Sunbelt Billy make it to the season at this point? Can they turn this around?
I know. I just, you know what? These days, I want to say how in this day and age you don't get that grace period, and Napier's time is definitely the way that it's going to depend on what happens next week. I mean, Miami in the swamp. Miami comes in there in Cristobal, and people are expecting Miami to have that success. So
sure.
But the Gators, they showed up. They were really, really flat. They got that touchdown, late in the second quarter, and you and I were like, okay, maybe this is a game, because we had time on our hands.
Sure,
we were here early.
With 17-10, we were here early. Wasn't that amazing?
Early.
I know I was here early. I tried to get out. Well, you act like I'm late.
Well, maybe you thought they were going to have prime rib like they do at the Bucks games when you're up here, because I don't get up here for those games. So maybe.
Yeah, we had no prime rib. We had some good eats tonight. It was good. It wasn't prime rib.
No,
I didn't get the vegetables.
Ken took care of us here.
Ken always takes care of us.
I got to tell you a story.
Yes, tell me a story.
I'm here half an hour before you, and everybody came by, and they're like trying the Coke machine, and they didn't have it on. And then Ken says, "Look, not till 5. You walk in here 4:25. I didn't even realize it was you. I hear Ken go, "Oh, come on over. Would you like something lemonade? Do you want something to this?" And I turn around, I'm like, "That's a freaking Rolex reporter, Peter Blake." I couldn't get a Coke for half an hour, but great guy, great staff up here, but. Just a great opening, like you said. You could have showed up and just been flat. This USF Bulls team, they were nowhere near flat tonight, and that's a great thing going forward, because you got Bama, you got Miami 2 weeks after that. But really, at the end of the day, as far as the AAC is concerned and what the Bulls can mean for this division, having had the best recruiting class in the division, is that it's going to be a long season. Just going to the most important game is the next one. That's it.
That's the next game, and it's going to be against the Alabama Crimson Tide, who had no trouble with their matchup. Who do they play again?
Boca Ciega High School or something. 63 like Western
Very
Kentucky.
Very good. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web live here from the Red Corner. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, after the Bulls absolutely dominate Bethune Cookman Wildcats 48-3. Your thoughts? I asked it tonight. I put it out there on social media. After this performance, if you're a Bulls fan, how many wins do you think this team can get? And, I'm talking to Leo Haggerty, the legend, former Coach Scout and now media member. He said, listen, if they could stay healthy, and that's always a big if because injuries are a part of the game, 9 to 10 wins. And you have that 12-team format. Don't be surprised if this team can get their stuff together. And I get it. It's just one game. You party poopers out. You're just getting so excited, the eternal optimist. But listen, they definitely do have talent. They look a lot better than they did last year. I expect them to be better than last year because you don't have a new offensive system you're trying to learn. You don't have a new defensive system you're trying to learn. You got some kids in the portal. We talked about the defense's improvement. You saw that tonight. Hopefully, Schuler is good because it
Yeah,
didn't
that's an
necessarily look
important
good
piece of that
on the
defense.
injury at all.
They let him walk off on his own, but you wonder how much that was just, I want to do this, but at this point, even after the first game, all these players have some type of an injury. But hopefully Schuler's he's going to find out. Well, it's just a little sprain.
And Ken is watching right now as we were talking about it. So it's almost like he heard us because we're so loud, and hopefully we're not too loud out there because I know you guys are trying to work. We're trying to work too, but we're doing a different work here. We're doing the evolution of sports.
You're
talk
working
television.
me. You're setting me
You
up.
shut up and be quiet.
Shut up!
There you go. That's what you get. I got more sound effects for you.
Interesting thing here.
Yes, give me some interesting stuff.
Well, and not about the Bulls, but about Notre Dame and college football.
Sure.
Okay, so in the 12-team format now, which expands the college playoffs.
Did you say playoffs?
Playoffs? We talking
playoffs?
We talking?
See, I get with you, and this is what happens.
It's
You
late.
got me. Well, it is late.
Not that late.
It is not that late,
We're
but
young
we
guys.
got a Labor Day weekend
That's
coming
what's
up
great
here.
about it. And Leo's buying after.
Yeah, he is. Well, is anything open once he gets out of there?
I'm not going to say it.
Well, I don't know. He's supposed to be in the back room, so I think I sent him the right link. We'll go ahead and send him the link again, see if we can get him.
But
Yeah.
the interesting thing is, so Notre Dame, they're the first 4 teams in the playoff are your 4 division or your 4 conference champions.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So theoretically,
Yes.
Notre Dame, they could be undefeated this season, and they still the best they can finish is number 5.
Yeah, he's got the link, so we'll see if we can get him on.
Well, number 5 gets to host the first round of the game in those 12-team playoffs. And then second week they go against one of the teams that had a bye week in the first if they win that. So theoretically, Notre Dame, even if they were the best team in the country, they're 5th seed. The best they can do is 5th seed in the playoffs, which automatically sets them up.
Did you say playoffs?
I said playoffs.
Playoffs.
Why am I even talking to you about
playoffs.
this? It's interesting.
Find
It's just
out.
a thing.
Finish him.
That's what I get for you right
I
there.
thought you're going to give me acknowledge me.
Oh, acknowledge you? Okay, I'll acknowledge you.
Acknowledge me.
And then I'll do this. All right, so I'm sorry. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Bulls fans, what do you think about the big win tonight? What are your expectations going forward? How many wins do you think this Bulls team can have? Let me go to you, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, after this big-time win to start the season over the Wildcats 48-3. How many wins do you think this USF Bulls team has?
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm the most important game is the next game. I'm taking them one at a time because I've just loved watching this team from where they came last season. They were a team in search. They went through a little bit of a walk in the desert there for a few years, and they weren't, after Taggart, and they were trying to figure out where we're going with this thing. And next thing you know, we bring in a Coach Galesh and people, what's this guy going to mean to this team? Turns out we knew he was a great leader, but it turns out that this team's just been buying in, whether it's hydration or practicing or believing in themselves. So, I mean, I'm not going to tell you. I'd like to tell you. I'm not going to go there. I got a bunch of guys talking by here.
That's all right. They're walking by. They're like, "What is this? It's the evolution of sports talk television."
Well, I'd like
what
to tell
we do.
you that either Alabama or Miami, one of those two. I'd like to tell you both. I mean, realistically, the national pundits, the one that picked the Bucks to go 3-15 and be picking Caleb Williams this last April, the ones that took Florida State at 74%, ESPN to beat Georgia Tech over there. I mean, they would tell you it's impossible. I've seen this team come along, and nothing's impossible. Any team on any day. They just got to make sure going into Alabama next year, the next week, they're gonna be a little red faced from last year. They're gonna show them the tape this week of what happened here at Raymond James last year to get their players pumped up. But this Bulls team, they can play.
All right, so I want to go out to Instagram Live. Petite Goddess says hello to you. Thanks a lot for watching the evolution of sports talk television here on Amped Up Sports, on Facebook, on YouTube. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
What about you? Number of wins? Give me a number.
I'm the eternal optimist here. So I'm going to go.
It's a little tough.
It is a little tough, but I want to go 9 or 10 wins. Honestly, I think they're going to be in the thick of it. And I think the reason why they're going to be in the thick of it is because, number one, they got a damn good coach. And I'm not just saying that because I get a chance to interview him every chance we get here.
Yes.
We've had some great interactions on the evolution.
He really is a great guy.
He is.
I
he
love
is.
it. Family man, too.
And the thing
Family.
that, not only that, but it's just the way he came in and there wasn't a lot of fanfare and what he did for this program to turn them around and the answers that he gives. He's very thoughtful. He was the right man for the job. I have no
100%.
doubt about that. He was definitely the right man for the job. And just going through his processes, the talent has gotten better. I don't think the conference is that great, but it's still going to be tough. You still have some tough games on your schedule. Of course, we talk about Miami. We talk about Alabama next week. So, maybe 9-2. I would go 9-2, maybe 9-2 at the end of the day. We'll see. 9 wins, 9 to 10 wins. I'm going to go like that.
Yeah, Navy's going to be tough. So
Yes.
probably two losses.
Yes.
Which means we get one of the ones.
Alabama. Let's see here. Somebody says 20-0. They can't go 20-0 now. Stop, Fred. What is it? What? Come on, Fred. 20-0. They can't go 20-0. They're
well,
scared.
Think about it. Yeah, even in the
you know what?
playoffs.
We'll do this. Playoffs. So you say playoffs? I want to go to their schedule. You keep on saying playoffs and making me do that.
Oh, I know their schedule. So you got
I don't want the Chicago Bulls schedule. I want USF schedule. Who cares about the Bulls? I mean, we're not on the Chicago.
We're playing the Commanders here next Sunday.
Yes. Well, you got Alabama next week.
Right. And then
that could be a win. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game.
They didn't get challenged today.
Okay.
So hopefully, because this Bulls team, they did not take Bethune Cookman lightly.
Somebody wants to call in and talk Bucks and Rays. Should we allow people to talk Bucks and Rays?
Do it.
If you guys want to talk Bucks and Rays, yes, we could talk Bucks and Rays. We definitely like to keep it on USF, but feel free to call in if you want to. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
In our defense, though,
yes,
I know the Rays won 11-6 tonight, but I don't have a clue as to who did what. So
I have no idea.
Kevin Cash
Josh Lowe had a good game again. They're just up and down. They're up and down team all year long. So I think people have kind of turned the page on the Rays, if you will.
Are they back to 500 again?
Are they 500 again for what the
33,000th
time for this team?
I'm going to be there tomorrow for Fred McGriff Day.
There you go. Fred McGriff, the crime dog. We've interviewed him on this show before.
Yes.
I was screaming on top of the rooftops or screaming on top of the mountains the last 10 to 15 years about McGriff getting into the Hall of Fame because he's not a cheater and he did it the right way. And he gets into the Hall of Fame. All right, so I think this is Eric. Let's go out to the phone lines. Eric, welcome to the Evolution, your post-game edition of the Sports Web after USF defeats Bethune-Cookman 48-3. What's on your mind tonight?
I'm a Gator fan, but I don't know.
Oh, no.
It's going to be a long year.
Oh.
But, USF does play the Bucks play.
All right.
And, their hometown.
Well, Eric, give me the rundown now. Does this coach make it throughout the season? I mean, what did you see today? Because I know what I saw today. I saw an offense that didn't have a lot of imagination, and I give Miami all the credit in the world. Their defense was good, but again, you got to make plays at those critical times. And then on top of it, your defense is not able to get off the field. Is that what you saw? What did you see today? Do you think this coach makes it throughout the year?
I didn't really watch the game. I just
You didn't watch the game. You're a Gator fan and didn't watch the game. Why didn't you watch the game, Eric?
How's it feel, Eric?
I was at the resort, but I stay tuned to it.
Okay, so hold on.
The resort. Yeah, we got questions, Eric.
Hold on now. Hold on. He started off the call with saying he's a Gator fan, but you are at a resort and you decided, just knowing how bad the Gators could be all year long and what kind of gauntlet of a schedule they have. You didn't even watch them? You stayed at the resort? What did you suntan at the pool all day long? What did you do?
Tan lines?
No, we had
my
uncle's memorial today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, brother.
Rest in peace.
Oh, see, now I feel just awful at this point.
No, you're good. Nah,
guy's memorial. He's at a resort, and I'm teasing him about being a Gator fan. All right, what's on your mind, man?
I think it's going to be a good year for the Bucks. I think 19-0, 20-0.
20-0, right? So everybody's saying that right now. 20. So you
10-7, 11-6.
Okay, 10-7, 11-6. Why do you think 10-7, 11-6? Give me some thoughts here. Give me some points.
I just think the continuity. And then Liam Cohen, I think, is going to be like a step above Canales.
Right.
I think with the run game, we're a top 15 team, top 10 team maybe.
Wow.
if got to get to the quarterback. I think Yaya's going to be ready.
Okay.
Getting Whitehead back.
Right.
I'm a little worried about the secondary after Dean, because if one of those corners goes down,
You got Zion McCullum, so we'll see.
Zion,
Zion,
and then Bryce Hall.
Yeah.
Let's see what Bowles likes his
you got Georgia's Tyke Smith, who, by the way, they definitely disposed of Clemson today, talking college football. But yes, Tyke Smith. Yep.
Well, Eric, I like the fact you point that out, because a running game will help the defense, and the Buccaneers have had a fantastic defense going back to even before Tom Brady got here. It's one of the reasons why I think Tom decided. So you get that running game going this season. It also helps the passing, Liam Cohen in that passing game. But I think if your offense just holds up their end of the bargain,
such a play action too,
brother, play action. And I think that your Buccaneers defense can be tops in the National Football Conference, NFC top 3, but maybe top 5 in the league. What do you think?
And then we're gonna run 2 tight end sets. I like the tight end. We got Devin Culp and then Payne Durham. Payne Durham. So I think Kate Allen's top 10 tight end. I think he's going 700 yards, 50 catches, 7-8 touchdowns.
Okay.
I think Kate Allen is very underrated.
Okay.
And so is Rashad White.
All right. Yeah. We'll see what this running
and Mike
game
Evans
does.
Doesn't get the respect he deserves.
He never does.
Adam Schefter didn't even. I don't know, those players were 3-year deals, but Mike Evans is one of the. I mean, he's my favorite player of all time,
brother.
And didn't even mention it as a contract extension. I get it. All right, Eric. What else here on the evolution?
Junior Camaro's a stud.
He looks like a stud. Yes. It would have been nice to have him a month ago. Maybe that would have turned around the fortunes of the Rays. But, it is what it is. This is what the Rays do. All right. I want you to do me a favor from now on, because we're doing post-game shows for USF. And seeing as you're not too interested in watching the Florida Gators for the rest of the year, I want you to convert over to be a USF fan. And here is their fight song. You ready? Here it goes. All right, here it is. All right, there you go. Now, that's the fight song. So every time you call in now, I'm going to play that fight song, Eric. You're going to turn over.
It's Eric's song.
That's Eric's song. Eric's song right there. You're going to be a USF Bulls fan, because if you continue to watch this Florida Gator team, you may have to go back to the resort.
You may resort to something.
I mean,
you might resort to yes.
You got a point. You got a point.
Well, I got a pretty good point. I got a great point. What are you talking about?
You got a great point. You got a great point.
All right. Appreciate it, Eric. Hang in there, man. Hopefully, this show takes your mind off of anything that's going on in your life. Makes you laugh.
Sorry for the loss there.
Absolutely, my friend.
I appreciate it, guys.
We love you, brother.
You guys have a good night. Best. Ray and Pete, best in the business.
Hey, man, we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Hey, see you next Sunday, Peter.
Yes, next Sunday, we will definitely have you covered out at the tailgate here, right across the street from Raymond James Stadium. Bucks Life and also What the Buck. I'll be out there early, getting up early. Definitely.
You're trying to get me on a hook.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you on the hook there, so you can definitely call in, Eric. You can come out there, meet me if you want to, and of course, post-game edition in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. So hang in there. Do me a favor really quick, because this has kind of been our thing. Do 3 things. You ready? Go ahead. Get excited. Say the 3 things that we do here on the Sports Web.
Know your passion.
Know your passion.
Wait.
No, that's
one of them.
No, that's not one of them at all. No, it's bring your passion.
Bring the passion. Bring no nonsense.
No, we'll do it together. Ready? You should know this by now, because you've been listening to the show for how many years now? Bring your passion.
Bring your passion.
Bring your excitement.
Bring your excitement.
Just don't bring any nonsense.
Just don't bring any nonsense.
Now say it all together with emotion.
Oh my God!
I know, Eric. She's like,
you shut up and be quiet. Go ahead, Eric.
Bring the passion. Oh my God, I can't.
All right, USF fan. Okay, we're done. Get out of here,
brother. Take care. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Like that. But see, that was what we were talking about. Just one person.
Sure.
If one person can, one person, and we're for an audience of one. Of course, we're doing thousands, which is great. But one.
Which consequently, you don't have one person. We got 18 people watching right now, which is great.
On one of the many platforms.
As late as it is. Yes, we stream on, of course, Facebook and YouTube and Instagram Live, sometimes TikTok, but the Wi-Fi is not great here. It's probably better than my house, most likely. With that being said, speaking of one person, it's the legend himself, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. Here we go. Former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. Why do I let's go on to Leo Haggerty. Your face says it all, man. I'm trying to host this show with this guy, and he's doing this weird robot dance. Save me from this. What did you learn down there interviewing Alex Golish in the post-game edition there for Amped Up Sports?
Well, let's take us through all the interviews tonight. And I asked Coach Golish, I said, did you contemplate going for it on fourth down and which is what he had? And he said, yes, I contemplated it. In fact, I really contemplated it, but I thought, you know what? We can make this, but if we don't, I don't want to put our defense in a hole. So we punted, they held, got the ball back, and that was a big thing. We talked to Byron Brown, and I said, Byron, give yourself a grade for tonight. What do you think he said, Peter? Ray?
What did he say?
I'm gonna say C.
Well, what grade would you have given him?
I would say a B plus. I think that he did definitely miss some throws that he could have made, but overall, athleticism, making runs, making things happen. Of course, the 42-yard touchdown. But I think Brown is hard on himself. He wants to get better with his game, and especially with talking to him last year, how coaches were telling him they want him to throw from the pocket more. They don't want him to be mobile. That's not to say the coaching staff is going to forget about his mobility, but what was the final grade?
He said he was a B, which was interesting. And you know what? That tells me the same thing, Peter, that you said. He's hard on himself. He wants this to happen. He wants it to be an A grade. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. We talked to Kelly Joyner. He's in his 6th season here with red shirts and injuries and all that. And he was there. And, of course, we talked to Mac Harris. And I said, hey, Mac, if you take the last 2 games, you guys are averaging 1.5 given up in 2 games. He goes, yeah, but we want to pitch shutouts. So that's a nice mentality to have on defense. He said, we gave up 3, but it's points. We want to put goose eggs up there. So that was key.
Yeah, that was really key. And I know we talked about Jalen Schuler earlier on in the game. It was disappointing because he was their leading tackler last year, takes a hard hit, a helmet right to the knee. Did we learn anything about his status?
They are not sure, but they are going to get tested tomorrow or Tuesday. They're going to move on, and they're going to do what's best for the kid and what's best for the program. And again, I'm hoping he's able to come back. I hope it's just a bad bruise. And he can go back. But if it's not, it's next man up. The problem is it's your leading tackler who you're trying to get the next man up for. So, yeah, it would be a big loss. But you know what? Put a cork in it. Let's keep the ship from sinking, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We're on with the legend himself, Leo Haggerty, after the Bulls take care of business over Bethune Cookman Wildcats 48-3. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, Best of the Bay, live from the red corner here at Raymond James Stadium. With that being said, going back to the defense, the big-time question mark coming into it was, what this defense could do. I thought they were stifling tonight. I thought they shut down the run. Total yards for the Wildcats here. 170 total yards. They definitely got after the passer. They caused turnovers. I mean, what did you learn from the defensive players that you talked to after the game?
Well, Coach Golish said it. I asked him, is this big boy football? He said, absolutely. Well, the line dominated both sides of the ball. They were able to establish the run, which means that the defense can't just pin its ears back and come after the quarterback. So, a good running game, one of a quarterback's best friends. And they just flat out shut down the run.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Bethune Cookman was averaging less than 2 yards a carry. Do the math. 2 fours, you get the ball back. That's 8 yards. So, all of a sudden, Bethune Cookman, they become one-dimensional. And that's what you want to do defensively, is make a team one-dimensional, because now you can see that. The USF pass rushers, they were coming at them with reckless abandon because they knew, hey, you can't run the football. You got to throw.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was also a key to South Florida's win tonight, was the balance of their offense, especially when it comes to the running game. 5 touchdowns on the night from the rushing game, 37 minutes of possession time, overwhelming. And when you can run the ball for over 200 yards, and they let me see the final numbers here when it comes to runs for the night, 231 yards of rushing, Leo. When you've got 5 touchdowns on the ground, 231 total yards, you dominate time of possession, and then on top of it, you put the knockout blow to that defense. That's exactly what they did tonight versus the Wildcats.
And you know what, Peter? They averaged 5 yards a rush. And again, I preach this to my listeners. I preach this to my readers. Do the math.
Yeah.
2 5s are 10. You got the first down. The offense, the first team offense, was 8 of 12 on third down. That means they stayed on the field. Bethune Cookman was 4 of 17 for the game. That means defense was getting off the field. That's the key. But you know what, Peter? I asked these guys, I said, hey, that 800-pound elephant literally is Alabama. You got to go to Tuscaloosa next week. How important is it to go up there and go get them? And they said, hey, that would be a feather in our cap, because you know what? To be the best, you got to play the best. That's the old Ric Flair line, right?
Yes. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. When you threw that wrestling reference in there, of course, tune in to Turnbuckle Talk, 10:30 on Wednesday nights. That's neither here nor there, because we're talking USF football. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, live from Raymond James Stadium after the Bulls win 48-3. We're on with Mr. Leo Haggerty, the legend himself, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports. Ray talked about this, how this team somewhat last year in those, against those teams that are not great, they kind of allowed them to stay in this game. There was never any doubt about this game. South Florida kept the pedal to the metal all night long, right?
Yeah, pretty much after the first series. And again, I got to agree with Coach Golish on this. He thought about going for it, and he point blank said we would get that. But he didn't want to put that defense in a situation, and more so, he didn't want to give Bethune Cookman a reason to stay in the football game. Yeah. Let's punt the ball. Let's let our defense play. We get the ball back, score. Get the ball back in, score. Okay, it's 14-0. Now it's Katie bar the door. So, yeah, that's it. But you know what, Peter? It's going to be fun this week to go out there and ask these guys who played last year, said, hey, guys, is it unfinished business going to Alabama? Because you held them to 17 points last year.
Yeah.
The offense only got 3. So how important is it to go into Alabama and, step it up, bring your game up? And all these guys are starting to talk like Coach Golish. They're saying, hey, it's process over outcome. If we come up with the same process, we're going to get the same outcome. If we don't like what's on film, then we got to change our process. We got to get better. And that's what we're seeing right now, is we're starting to see a team believe in what's being preached.
Yeah, and we also talked about that on this show as we've been out there. We've covered this team. It's much like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where there's some sense of energy. There's a confidence there. Same thing with USF. You can feel that. The coach, he knows the identity of this team has been established. You saw that tonight. I think they would like, again, a little bit more consistency when it comes to Brown from throwing from the pocket. But when you're able to run for over 200 yards and have that balance to your offense, you become that much more dangerous. And I definitely believe Coach Golish will have this team ready to go versus Alabama. Now, a lot of people want to talk about some of the stories of the day around college football. So let's go ahead and switch some gears here. I got to give you credit, my friend, because you said it best on Wednesday night. And I know our young analyst there, Ryan Neal, newest analyst there of Amped Up Sports, talking about LSU football and around college football in general. He didn't believe in the Miami Hurricanes. I think a lot of people now believe in the Miami Hurricanes and how great Cam Ward is, but I want to salute you. You're a legend for a reason. You said it best. You said Ward would be the reason. He would be the main X factor, and it's the reason why the Hurricanes definitely may have a special team going forward. Talk about that big win by the Miami Hurricanes over the Florida Gators today in the Swamp.
Well, I think Cam Ward is in his 12th year in the NCAA. I mean, he started at Incarnate Word in Texas, went to Washington State. Now, understand this. I stay up till 2 a.m. watching Pac-12 football.
Very nice.
And I'll tell you what, he almost single-handedly beat Washington last year by himself at Washington State. When he came in, and Peter, I said this right on your show. I said, Cam Ward will be the difference in Miami. In fact, I'm picking Miami to get to the national championship final. They'll probably lose to Ohio State. But I'll tell you what, they've got a roster top to bottom that is phenomenal. It is just, they got so much talent there that if they just play smart football, they're going to win 10, 11, maybe 12 games. And again, we saw the touchdown they gave up today to Johnson. What was it, like 65, 70 yards? All because the corner lost contain. Yeah. All he had to do was stay outside, but he tried to come up, make a hero play. He got blocked, and then all of a sudden, hey, it's off to the races. And you can't let that happen. But again, when you look at what Miami has, and if they start to feel confident with Cam Ward, man, it's going to be a tough team to play because the Hurricanes, they're going to be there.
Yeah, and you look at Ward, I mean, he even said after the game it wasn't as loud as it was at USC and Oregon. He was used to that, and that's one of the things we kind of talked about, and you said it best. He was, played at Washington State. He was used to that frantic environment, and after the Hurricanes got up on the Gators big, everybody cleared out. With that being said, a lot of people want to clear out, Sun Belt, Billy Napier's office here. Do you think he makes it to the season at this point with the gauntlet of a schedule that the Florida Gators have this year?
Heck, he may not make it through the weekend, Peter. Let's be honest. You can't lose that type of football game at home and to an in-state rival, because now you're going to get shot down in recruiting, because Miami's just going to say, hey, guys, you want to go to Florida? Go right ahead. Go play for a loser. And don't think that doesn't go on. Don't think that Miami, Florida State, UCF, USF is going to bring that up to a recruit. Hey, look, go there. Especially if they go 5-7, they're going to be looking for another coach. It's just you can't have that kind of expectation that Meyer set for that program.
Yeah.
You got to get to a national championship game. You may not have to win it, but you got to get there. You got to get to the playoffs. Playoffs.
With the legend himself, Leo Haggerty, here live from the Red Corner. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here on the Sports Web. Post-game edition of this show after the Bulls win 48-3 over Bethune Cookman. Yes, go ahead.
Florida hosts Samford next week.
Not Stanford, Samford. Yes.
Samford, Florida. And then they host Texas A&M the following. If they don't beat Texas A&M, who gave Michigan a game today, then I guarantee it after that game, Napier is no longer the coach there in Gainesville. I'm just making that.
Wow, now. That early in the season. I don't know. Montreal
guys, by the way, you probably know this before I do. Texas A&M, Notre Dame. How'd that end up today?
Notre Dame took control at the end, 23-13 to close out the game. Another game that we're kind of watching today, and it was a little bit of a struggle at first, but Georgia ran away with it. Georgia versus Clemson. You told me something off air about Clemson's quarterback. What was that? And what did you think about Carson Beck, who's being touted as the next guy, the next quarterback that comes out could be the number 1 overall pick in next year's NFL draft and possibly a Heisman Trophy winner. What did you think of Georgia's performance?
Dominating. I think Clemson's rationale for playing them, and for the first half, it made sense. If you're going to get Georgia, get them early, because it was 6-0 at halftime. I think it got to 6-3, and then all of a sudden, Georgia just ran away with it.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want you to think that I'm saying Kirby Smart is a bad coach, but the key to beating Georgia is to make Kirby Smart, to make him coach in the fourth quarter. Why? Because you know the biggest decision he's got to make in the fourth quarter now? Hey, when do I put the backups in? Because generally speaking, when you're playing Georgia, the outcome is determined before that last 15 minutes even starts. So if you look at that, and that's what they're saying about Mario Cristobal down at Miami, make him coach in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Because he's not used to doing that. That's the key. Make the guy have to make decisions that he hasn't had to make. Look at the Alabama game last year. It was a close game. They didn't have close games all year.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
That is absolutely huge. Let's look at this USF schedule. Of course, they got Alabama next week. Then after that, Southern Miss, Miami coming to town September 21st. That's a big one. Then they go to Tulane. They play Memphis here, UAB. And then after that, you have Florida Atlantic here. Then Navy also, South Florida, Florida Atlantic, Navy here. Then at Charlotte, Tulsa comes to town, and then South Florida at Rice. How many wins do you see this schedule right now presenting itself? How many wins for this team in 2024, in your opinion, for the USF Bulls?
I definitely think they can match the 7 from last year.
Okay.
If they stay healthy at the right spots, they can they can possibly win 9 games.
Yeah, that's
they
what
have the talent on offense and defense. I'll tell you what, this may be the most talented team we've seen since the Charlie Strong era, when they were, I think, 10-2, 11-1.
Yeah.
During that time frame one year.
Well, I want to tell you, I think that's a Willie Taggart era right there that you're talking about.
Well, both of them, yeah, both of them.
Hey, Leo, was there any update on Cole Skinner, the right guard, number 62, that was went off injured early with the limping off the field again on his own volition, got off the field? But was there any update on him as well?
No, nothing on it. The only update we got was that Schuler was going to be looked at tomorrow or Tuesday. To be perfectly honest, guys, I got a feeling they know what the diagnosis is going to be, and I think, sadly, he's going to be out. He took what they were concerned about is he was making a cut back to the middle of the field, and that leg was in the ground when it got hit. That's a nightmare, because now your knee's frozen. If your foot's off the ground when you get hit on the knee, usually it's a bruise, but when your foot's on the ground and it's frozen, man, now you're talking ligament damage. Now you're talking cartilage damage. That's trouble.
Yeah, and he definitely took the helmet on the knee there. Didn't look really good at that point, but he did get helped off the field. At least they didn't have to bring out the cart, but a scary scene. And, of course, we know how talented Schuler was, not only the leading tackler, but all over the place early tonight. I thought the penalty against him was completely egregious.
Oh, terrible.
The refs should have been, going to lens crafters, because they missed calls all night long, including the one that was really odd, because we're in the press box there having our sandwiches. We couldn't figure out what you're trying to review at the end of the day. It was 4th and goal. USF doesn't score. Then you allow USF to try to run another play there, which they nearly got away with. You review it, you miss the call. I mean, that was the kind of officiating crew we had all night long. Talk about that.
Peter, it's funny because Coach Golish talked about this. He said they went to Dallas and reviewed it. And he came back and said, yeah, that was 4th down. Well, in the third quarter, they got an official apology from Dallas and said, hey, we were wrong. You should have had another down.
That's why it was bad.
Had another down. And it was because the first down was actually the down that got the first down.
Huh.
So it shouldn't have been another. It should have been another first down. So, and again, Golish was asking, wait. And the biggest problem was the guy on the sidelines had a third down. So everybody thought, okay, it's now fourth down. We can go for it. Nope. So again, it was not really the best communication. But you know what, guys? Referees, it's their first game too.
Well, it felt like it was Ray's first broadcast.
Come on.
Because
No, but you said we were eating.
Oh, hey, let's not talk about the plethora of mistakes Ray made.
Your word. Plethora. How many mistakes did I make? Wait, but the thing is, why do I see now the Tom Brady meme with Tom Brady going 4? Is it 4?
4, right, exactly. And by the way, you guys are expecting Harry the Greek tonight. He had some car problems. He will be with us. Don't worry. We're not teasing you. The Greek will be back with us here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, now a part of Amped Up Sports. And again, go to the sportsweb .live if you want all that great content. And of course, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, because if you don't want to see our ugly mugs, and there's some people out there who don't want to see us, you're going to be able to hear us when you're out working out in the gym tomorrow after a victory Saturday night, victory Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, whatever you like, because we got a couple more college football games. With that being said, give me some final thoughts here, Legend, on the Bulls win over Bethune-Cookman.
Again, a game you're expected to win, and you win it convincingly. That's good. The biggest thing is you wanted to come out healthy. That's not so good. They lost, Cole Skinner had to come out. Jalen Shuler had to come out. And you get concerned about that kind of thing because you're stepping up to the big boys next week. You're going into Tuscaloosa. You're going to play the Crimson Tide, that 800-pound elephant, literally and figuratively. So, yeah, that's huge. But a great defensive effort. They held them to 3 points. Offense, consistent. That's the key. They lost some points on the field, no doubt about it, but they were consistent. Because, guess what? Those guys on the other side of the ball, they're getting scholarships too. So there's some guys over there that can play.
Yeah.
You got to just – sometimes you got to tip your hat and say, hey, guy made a great play. But you know what, Peter? If it's 12 o'clock and I know Ray turns into a pumpkin, so you better get off quick.
Yeah, we definitely got to get off because Ray's about ready to get out of here. He's about ready to fall asleep.
Thanks,
yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Pumpkin. The legend himself, Leo Haggerty. We'll see you soon here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. All right.
Take care, guys. Talk to you Wednesday night, Peter.
Yes, sir. Wednesday night, right there. We'll be there, and hopefully we have Seneca Wallace, Kelsey Nicole Nelson talking about the enemy there from the DMC, Miss Professor Nelson there at George Washington University. So looking forward to having her back on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's read the rest of these comments and get the hell out of here for the night because it's been a long, great day, but a victorious day, if you will, if you're a USF Bulls fan. I always love victory. It's always great, especially whether it's early in the morning or in the afternoon or late at night. As we're here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television Live. And by the way, if you like this show, there's Facebook stars out there. Give to the content. You need to put some money into his account here. And of course, YouTube Super Chats, which, his check will be in the mail. And again, friend me at Peter H. Blake on Facebook. All those social media platforms are out there for you guys to enjoy the content. Again, let's read these comments. Okay, so we got Eric. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. If you guys want to call in, open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Speaking of the Gators, their former wide receiver was shot, but he'll be okay. That was the other story. Ricky Pearsall shot there in San Francisco, and people contacted me and said the reason why he was shot is because they were trying to rob him of his Rolex.
I'm not walking out to the car with you after the game tonight. I mean,
you better walk out to the car with me. You
better give me some
it's like, are you wearing your? Yes, I'm wearing my Rolex. Yes, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm not going in those situations, but thank God he's okay. You watch that video, and it's a tough scene. Of course, former Florida Gator wide receiver. I think they're
pick,
they're
Niners.
yeah. Well, I don't think it's first round pick. Like second or third. Maybe it was a first round.
It was a late
It's
first.
late at night.
Could have been wrong.
So he's definitely a draft pick that they were looking forward to. Now the re-signing of Brandon Ayuk. You have Deebo Samuel, but again, thank God he's okay. That could have turned out absolutely worse. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution.
This is Eric again. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
There you go.
Ray.
That's what I'm saying right there. Yes,
Awesome.
that's what I'm talking
That was
about.
awesome, Eric.
That was awesome. All right. So you've earned yourself another call. What else is on your mind?
Hopefully the Gators do better and the Bucks win the Super Bowl and the Raiders win the World Series next year. Have a good night, guys.
All right, so there you go.
That was
that's
acknowledge
it.
him.
Yeah, I will acknowledge him.
Acknowledge me.
You know who's not on? The tribal troll there from Newport Richie, Roger Shue. He's not on
It's
tonight.
a little late. On
Yeah, well,
Saturday
it's late. Well,
night.
yeah, he's
Labor Day
late.
weekend.
He's definitely past his bedtime. And
I missed the Labor Day
he's an old
telethon.
guy. That's what happens
He's
with old men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an old guy too.
But he eats probably dinner at 4:00 and went to sleep, watched Matlock or Walker, Texas Ranger. and
Silver sneakers is a real thing.
there you go.
I missed this Labor Day telethon. I missed silver sneakers. Roger.
Nothing against Roger. I love Roger. We
Roger's a
we
great
tease
guy.
because we
love.
care. What is
Okay,
it?
we care.
What is it?
I
What was
tease
that
be-
from? Was that Dan Patrick said that? We tease because we care.
I don't know.
I know it's late.
Oh.
All right. I don't know what you just said anyway.
You're the one who said it.
Shut up and be quiet.
This guy sucks.
Again, you're a bum, Rock. I
You're
gotta
a
get
bum.
I gotta get that. I gotta get that sound.
Ain't gonna be no
we were-
rematch.
we were doing
Don't want one.
we were doing that.
Rocky all
Look
night.
at this. Oh, we got sandwiches.
Oh.
See, I don't know if I can have this.
Wait.
Because it
No, you're okay. It's not spaghetti.
it's not spaghetti
There's
or
no
nothing like-
vegetables in here.
We
so
got
you're
there
saying-
is vegetables, but you save this, put this away because
Oh.
I can't eat this on air right now.
Okay.
Okay, we'll
Right
put
here.
it down there. So we got food right now. We're bringing brought food.
Let me tell you what it is.
Okay,
The USF post-game meal.
post game meal.
The guy was coming off and he said, "I'm just going to throw this out." I said, "I'll take one up." For
Brother,
my guys."
Thank you very
Leo.
much. Right
Thank
there, the
you.
legend. That's why he's a legend right there. That's Leo Haggerty. Every time we get around that guy, we're always eating well. So if you hang out with him,
Yes.
which we've always we've hung
Well,
out
you
with him
guys
for
do
years.
prime rib. Did
Yeah, well, prime rib was great.
Did Leo tell you what I asked him though? I came over. And
What'd
I
you ask
I
him?
came over. You were still down there doing your notes, and I said, "Leo, where's the banana?"
I'm the one that's
Foster?"
doing the notes, and you're the guy
I
that
said, "Where's the bananas Foster?" He goes, "Well, for Bucks games is right there."
Right there.
I'm like, "You're
for
rubbing it in."
USF.
But can I say something? Here?
Yes, go ahead. Say it.
Theoretically, these sandwiches,
Yes, they're
They-
good.
they saw the post game speech. They saw Coach Galish's post game speech. This was the food in the locker room for the players. These are famous sandwiches.
Famous sandwiches.
I got nothing.
I know you got nothing
But the
at
team
that
that
point.
scores the most points is probably going to win.
Wait, shut up and be quiet. Great analysis, buddy. That broadcasting school has really paid off for you. I feel like you're the guy from Major League. I'm Bob Euchre. I'm carrying the broadcast.
no
and you're sitting-
respect.
you shut up and be quiet.
All right.
That's Leo right there. Once again, you hang out with that guy, you
You're
ride
living
with
right.
that guy, and it'll always get you fed. And you
Yeah.
always have some cool stories to talk about.
Oh, and the best.
And
you meet a
USF
lot of
took care of
people.
us. So, Brian took care of us. Thank you very much, Brian. Hopefully, you love this broadcast out there because we're trying to do something a little bit different. Everybody's like, "Well, where's the streaming show at?" Well, I could talk Bulls football. Well, it's right here. It's on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. We're taking your phone calls, no matter how late it is, on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. So there you go.
Boom.
All right.
Boom.
Thank you. So let's go ahead and go out to the rest of these comments. Yes, we read that. Go Bulls, says my CSB brother right there, Mr. Cole Pfeiffer. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Courtney Reno, who
Oh,
does a bang up job
yes.
for Amped Up Sports and all the damn great reels. She thinks I'm crazy, but she does absolutely phenomenal job with it. So appreciate that. She says, "Let's go. Let's go." And she says, "Make sure you subscribe to the Sports Web
Yes.
on YouTube because we're trying to improve that channel.
Yes.
And our views have gone up some like 9,000 views here the last 30 days because she's just posting reel after reel after reel.
And
I like it. They're great reels.
They're great reels.
They make my reels look, like the little sisters of the poor. Terrible.
They're real reels.
Yeah, real reels. There you go. Real. Well, let's be real. Get you out of here for being real.
Really?
Make a reel out of you. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? We talking playoffs?
Ricky playoffs. You're a bum.
I know.
Ricky gotta get that sound effect.
Okay.
It's too
Come
late.
on, close
it's
it
too
out.
late for
Close
this.
it out.
It's really, it's really too late.
We're never gonna get. They're not gonna let me in for USF games. No,
I'm not gonna
totally
let you in because every time you get like that, you make me like this. Oh God! All right, thank you, Christopher Cole. You're such an idiot.
Christopher Cole's an idiot.
No, you're an idiot.
Okay, Christopher. I was making sure.
Christopher Cole is the man. Thank you, Christopher Cole, for tuning in as always. As I'm crying right now, I'm sorry about that. I'm not crying because USF lost. They won 48-3. This guy right here makes me laugh my ass off. Thunder Burke is going to be a steal. We'll see. Courtney Reno says this is my favorite song in the world. She's either talking about USF or Leo's tune, Leo's theme. Right there.
Leo's theme.
I think it's Leo. It's Leo. She says Leo right there. All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Let's go out to Broadway. What's going to be your sound? Maybe we do the sound of. He says he's Wheels.
No. Well,
I say he's Broadway.
I think that he's kung fu fighting, and Scott knows where I'm going with
kung
that.
Fu fighting.
Mike,
what's that all about?
Jiu-jitsu?
He did something with. He won something from the Bucks, by the way. Congratulations on that.
Fantastic. A whole
yes. Hey, Peter, Ray, and Leo. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Broadway. 727 Canes. Go Bulls. How about those Miami Hurricanes? It's been a good day for you, my friend. We'll see if they can continue that momentum for you. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the Evolution. Gators lost, says Broadway. KR. Kevin, evening, guys. Great game by the Bulls. Go Bulls. Where is my sound effect? There it is. There it is. All right. I already see somebody saying fire Billy.
Oh, yeah.
That's not very nice. The first game of the year, fire the coach.
Well, you're the one saying, does he survive?
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, you know how the expectations there in Gainesville, you know how crazy the fans are. I mean, it goes back to what I talked about with Titus O'Neil, right?
Yes.
He went to a wrestler, WWE, former wrestler there.
For the offensive line and see that guy waiting in a hole.
Right. He said he doesn't know if the fans are going to give Billy Napier enough time or patience to build this program up. It's going to be tough. So we'll see. We got a new dynamic and probably a new coach. Right. So I don't know why my phone is ringing like that. Gators defense was non-existent as well as the offensive line needs to protect. That's a big time thing right there. The dynamic duo, Peter and Ray, y'all are hilarious. We absolutely are. We try to make you laugh and entertain you at the same time and educate you. Peter, I can be your bodyguard. People already contacted me about, are you safe? Do you wear your Rolex when you do Uber? Yes, I do. I'm okay.
I said,
trust me.
I'd wear it home for you.
That's probably not going to happen, and it's definitely not going to happen at this point.
How about no?
There you go. Yes, there's your answer. Bobby Rain says, fire Billy. So thanks a lot for the comments.
That's two.
That was the one. That was the one comment I read. I wanted to make sure I read it again.
You hate the Gators. You don't like the Gators at all.
I actually would have rather seen the Gators win that game over the Hurricanes because I hate the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are going to be dangerous.
But before we get out of here, and you get the comments, what about Monday night, Florida State versus Boston College?
I don't know what to expect. This team better come up and stop somebody because they got completely embarrassed and dominated by Georgia Tech, a team that just overwhelmed them at the line of scrimmage. And we won't be live. We'll let you enjoy the Labor Day. Hopefully you enjoy it safe. If you're going to drive, call me up on Uber, 727-255-0391. I'll be around town, the Rolex Reporter. You can ride with me. We'll be riding together, talking some sports and getting you somewhere where you're going to be safe, especially if you're going to drink and drive. Do it the right way, guys. Call up an Uber. Be safe on this Labor Day weekend and enjoy college football because once you turn that page on Monday night, guys, it's Thursday night, it's Friday night, and then game time here against the Washington Commanders. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. Wednesday night, tune in to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to KR. Can't wait for Miami versus USF in 3 weeks. That's a great test for this young Bulls team. Let's go out to KR. The Gator fans are already over Billy. Just that quick, just that crazy. And Peter is probably packing. I am packing to move here in a couple months, but I will be packing up this equipment, going home, going to sleep, and getting up early and driving tomorrow and Monday. So again, use my phone line if you need an Uber ride. We'll definitely get it done, and we'll get you home safe. Final thoughts here. Tampa Bay Ray, best of the Bay after USF dominates Bethune Cookman 48-3.
Again, just a team.
This guy right here.
Right?
He's doing the camera
He's
thing.
making fun of my age again.
Yes,
That's what he's doing.
he is making fun of your age. Oh my gosh, no. See? It's between him and you, and when we get Harry out here, it's going to be the four horsemen.
Four Stooges.
Yeah, well, it may be the four Stooges at this point. Four horses' asses, four jackasses. That's what it may be right there.
Careful driving, brother.
Right, get home safe.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Final
And
thoughts.
if you need an Uber, you got my number. There you go. As I'm promoting. Go ahead. Talk.
This team right here, second
The broadcasting school again is paying off for you.
I see a team that's more confident in themselves, in the system that coach is putting in place here. And I see a team that still has a long way to go. They're not believing their own press. They didn't show up as a team that shut out Syracuse down there in the Boca Raton Bowl, 45-0, just crazy. They showed up as a team that's still wanting to get better day by day. They're going to have to do it all the next 6 days, because next week's match in Tuscaloosa, it's going to be another measuring stick as to where this program is right now. Can't go on last year's laurels. I'm glad Leo said that it came up in the post game, because I was like, oh, Alabama's going to be a little red. The Bulls have unfinished business. Let's see how it goes next Saturday.
Yeah, it's unfinished business. Let's see what they do in Tuscaloosa on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Definitely keep on tuning into the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. For the great best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, and the legend Leo Haggerty, I'm your host, Peter Blake. 3 things: bring the passion, bring the excitement, just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web, and of course USF Bulls fans, it's your time. Bulls win 48-3 over Bethune Cookman. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Guys, have a good night and be safe over this holiday weekend.
Give me that watch. Give me that watch. Nice show, guys.
Thank you.
Nice show.
Thank you.
I got it.